Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. I'm just trying to rush it to summer. Uh, so The View had a very quick single hot topic today about abortion bans in Texas. And that state is so fucked. Um, Everything coming from that draconian little creep of a governor is really disgusting. And I don't know which one of them said it today on the panel, but it has nothing to do with um, morality or saving lives, or it has 100% everything to do with control. And it's so disgusting. I just don't understand how um, people of Texas aren't having more of a revolt, but uh, and they were so close to Beto. I don't get it. Um, Although, you ever notice that the voting in um, Republican won states is never challenged? It's just when a Democrat wins somewhere, they're like, "Hey, something must have gone wrong." Um, I look at places like Kentucky, and Mitch McConnell is not popular, but yet he keeps winning his seat in the Senate. Um, I don't know. I think part of the reason they keep yelling, there's something nefarious going on, is because they know that there is, and they know how to manipulate the system where they have friends who will help them and not rat them out. So that's conspiracy theory number one for me this year. Actually, it's not new to me. Excuse me. And then we had Governor Christie on for the rest of the hour, and I don't like his self-congratulations. Like, I'm the only one telling the truth. Like, you don't get a fucking medal for that. I don't understand why the bar is so fucking low that just saying, "Hey, you don't get away with doing illegal shit," is like somehow you're a hero. And he's not even saying that. He's saying, "You know what? So you did participate in the insurrection, and we'll give that a pass. That's okay." I, Let the courts worry about that, but don't let the actual laws and the Constitution get in the way of you running for president. I feel like that's such hypocrisy. And they were kind of had him on the ropes for that one, between Joy and Sonny, and he had a hard time backing that one up. And I feel like he said at one point, when somebody says something, but they don't really believe it. I feel like that's one of those things where he feels like he's saying that politically, to be like, I don't want this to appear to be rigged, so I'm going to say that. I love it when they think that they know what the electorate wants to hear, and end up screwing it up. He is pretty on point about most of the things and most of the viewpoints that he has, and his opinions about sort of current state of affairs. Although I will disagree with his soliloquy on the economy, because he had some facts wrong. But like that, none of that it's all such bullshit, and the American voter just seems to only hear Biden is bad. And it's like, there's a lot of problems in this country, and none of them are going to get fixed by any single president. Especially when we have a Congress that won't do anything. We have a Republican-led House of Representatives that hasn't completed a single bill that has anything to do with helping American people. They can't even pass the fucking budgets and fund the government. But my biggest takeaway from the whole thing, and this is I just don't. This is where I don't understand Amy Alyssa Fowler Griffen. She's this Nikki Haley fan, and went through a giant mental gymnastic situation to try to justify Nikki Haley and the comment about the Civil War and slavery yesterday. And today she said, I'd love to support you because you're more closely aligned with my beliefs than anyone else. Then why aren't you supporting him? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, why are you supporting someone who is less aligned with you politically and ideologically? Is it for some sort of political gain? Is it some sort of strategy? Do you think that um, she has a better shot of winning, so you'll just keep repeating her name and saying you support her when actually the ideology is that you believe in is better represented than another candidate who's pretty much, I mean, they're both so far in the polls. Like it's not like you're giving either one of them a leg up, but you are hindering the one that you actually agree with by supporting the other one that you don't agree with as much. And what is the point of supporting that one, especially when Amy Alyssa Fowler Griffen, you say repeatedly Donald Trump cannot become president again. Um, so you should be doing anything you can to make sure that won't happen. Is it because you think Christie can't beat him in the primary? Because I mean, they're all so far behind him. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. Where does the logic fit that you're going to support a candidate that you're constantly having to apologize for when there's another candidate that's running who's agreeing with you, it's saying all the things you say over and over again. He can't be president. He needs to be brought out that he is a danger to this country, Trump. And yet Nikki Haley supports him, wants to give him a pardon. Chris Christie is saying all the things you want people to be saying and want people to know about Donald Trump, and you agree with him ideologically, but you won't support him. That makes zero fucking sense. Um, and part of the reason why our election system is fucked up because people do that kind of thinking. Like, I want to put my effort behind someone who I think will win as opposed to who I actually want to be governing, which was said at the end of the show. And I appreciate Sarah actually saying that bit at the end, that it's like we need to remember that nothing is inevitable, that everything is in the hands of the voters, and to be giving the voters information, not propaganda. And poor Joy, she can't help herself. It's always back to the same stuff, and it's you know when you get to a certain age, you sort of set in your ways, and your opinion goes on repeat. It was cute when she came out and said, or when he came out and she said, "You're kind of like my ex-husband." That analogy all fell apart really quickly when they started comparing themselves to Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. But I don't know that it's an ex-husband necessarily, because you were never wed. You were always you were polar opposites. You're antagonistic to each other, but now you've come together against a common enemy. So there's some better, like, superhero kind of analogy, or um you know there's something in literature that says we used to hate each other, but now we're both going to go after that third one. But I don't know what that is off the top of my head. But I did finish my puzzle yesterday very quickly, and now it's time to take the dog for a walk. Stop.